check, mic check. I think we're good, guys. We are good. What is going on? That's our friend live stream. My name is ISMO. Welcome to the music production tutorial. And I guess this is like a syllabus stream. We're going to talk about different aspects. I'm going to just turn this music a little bit lower. We're going to talk about specifics of what it takes to be a successful music producer and the elements that I've learned over the last 3.5 years. So excited to spend this time with you. Shout out our boy in the bag. I'm kind of looking on multiple screens here, and I know Alexa is watching over my back, making sure I don't miss any questions. Guys, get your questions, comments, concerns. I mean, we're going to talk about everything in regards of emotional biases. We're going to talk about the fundamentals. We're going to talk about how to study, what to study, and the elements of the psychology behind, you know, becoming successful if that's what you want to do. I know that some of you guys are just kind of like don't even know how to start, but I know there's a lot of artists, and especially in the Detroit area, that started during the quarantine to learn more about music production, and I want to make sure you guys are on the right path of learning, because I don't want you guys to make the same mistakes that I did. So anyway, I know that I look pretty in the big screen, but I'm gonna do a switch around here. We're gonna go into a full screen mode of my entire desktop, and we're gonna have a PowerPoint presentation. I mean, this is gonna be like school, guys. This is a vibe check, so hopefully you guys are paying attention. I got my Rain energy drink to make sure I am all energized for you guys, and make sure you guys ask questions. Shout out to LAX here. And yeah, if you guys, like I said, take notes. If there's anything that stands out for you guys, I'm here for you, and hopefully we can make this a long-term type of thing. That's my goal, and teach you all the tips and tricks that I've learned with the guys that I've been studying music production. So anyway, here we go. So we're gonna go into this screen right here. Oh yeah. Let's exit out of here, and then let's open up a PowerPoint. Oh yeah. Hopefully you guys can hear me well. So anyway, there it is. That's our friend production tutorial. I just want to make sure that it's coming through on your end. Let me know if it does. I'm just checking on my phone. It's a little bit behind. It should be. There it is. Okay, beautiful. So anyway, what are we going to cover? You know, you guys are going to know a little bit more about me, who I am, what I'm all about. I think that's important. So it's not just some random guy teaching you this stuff. And my mission as my brand is of RNSMO. And we're going to talk about generalized fears of production and emotional biases. We're going to talk about your personal goal settings and the mindset framework to achieve your goals. So that way you guys have a structured outline to your dreams, goals, and aspirations that you can understand, and you can always do a little check mark as you go along. Of course, in relation to music production. We're going to talk about what you need to get started, which is ultimately not much, and we're going to talk about Noiselab and EDM Prod, which were two of the most fundamental things that I took in the beginning, back 3.5 years ago, that helped me extremely, especially understanding Ableton. But before we jump into Ableton, I want to discuss DAWs. You know, some of you guys might be on different DAWs, but we'll cover that in the next couple slides ahead. Okay? Hi, Coral. Hopefully you will learn something as well here today. Anyway, RNSMO, my mission statement. Okay, so I've been producing for 3.5 years, like I've said. My name is Ismail, by the way. I come from a background. I am a registered nurse. And I mean, I do a little bit of everything. I coach tennis. I do music production. Anyway, a Swiss knife of life, as they call me. My goal is, in any walks of life, take a compassionate and empathetic approach in motivating and inspiring the community in becoming better versions of yourselves or themselves. Okay? So you guys are sitting on the gold mine in regards to music production, because a lot of people have opened up their doors to teaching and mentoring. And in just the essence of life, you guys have a lot of potential in whatever aspect that you're doing. So for me, it's you know, I would love for you to listen to my music, but my main thing of my brand and who I am is to make sure you guys are becoming all that you can be and have no regrets at the end of your life. Again, this might be too deep for some of you, but that's how I am. So, in regards of music production in general, so I've taken, like I've said, 3.5 years, and recently my big spur moment was taking one-on-one lessons with successful producers. Dylan Nathaniel released on Confessions, Repopulate, Sola, West End, Dirty Bird, Sola, Repopulate, Codes, Dirty Bird, Night Base, Ernesto, Dirty Bird, Psycho Disco, A. Smith, of course. These are the local guys. Um, they have supported me. I have learned some things from them that I'm going to share. And my big thing is that before I launched this, I wanted to make sure that they were okay, and they knew that the things that I'm going to talk about isn't just a fart in the wind. It's something that makes sense. It's approachable, and I'm at the stage of my production where I can make a decent track, I can make a good track, but now I'm focusing on making sure that it's excellent. It is just the little things now, and that way, I want to show you guys the things that I've went through that were like I wish I knew, and that way you guys don't have to make the same mistakes. And like I've said, those of you who are watching, you guys are sitting in the gold mine because there's so many opportunities now in relation to music production, especially from learning standpoint, where you guys can take your experience to the next level very easily. So, and of course, the Elevate, which was the first track I've ever released, uh, got in top 50 of tech house hype track on the Beatport, and it's top 10 on Late Night Munchies. And shout out to Mr. Tony H for giving me an opportunity. And the business side of music industry is completely different, but we can talk about that a little bit later on. We just got to make sure that we can deliver a solid product to the community and to the people that are listening to your product. So that's my mission statement. That's kind of a little bit of about my background. Let's keep it going. Any questions so far? Shout out to Coral for listening in. Shout out to Ella X. I appreciate you guys. Will you be recording this? Yeah, I'm gonna be releasing this later on for sure. And like I said, if you guys are enjoying this, this is gonna be a full-on series. So we're gonna keep going. Okay. So generalized fears and emotions. A lot of production is hard, and I'm gonna tell you my experiences with it from the beginning. And I've started from no experience back in 2017. I mean, I've always been a passionate fan of the music industry. I've been in Detroit. I've been to a lot of shows. I've went through the whole EDM stage, um, festivals, Bass Nectar, Deadmau5, Armin van Buren, to what I know now, house music, techno, really deep in Detroit. So I've been here for a while, and some of you guys don't really know me, which I understand. I kind of jumped in the scene a little bit late. I was uncomfortable because I wanted to make sure that I understand what I'm talking about. And finally, I'm kind of blossoming now, slowly but surely. And like I've said, here to help you guys blossom as well. So the generalized fears is I don't know where to start. Okay, well that is I think in any aspect of life, whatever you are trying to pursue, that's a big one for everybody. And I think if you're just watching this right now, and it could be now or in a recording, this is where you start. You're listening to this, you might be getting some information, you might get some information that's going to inspire you down the road, but this is where you start. And there's no right or wrong way. I always thought that there's a right way, like I needed to learn music theory, which in essence, it's not true. You want to write this down. You don't need to know music theory. You have tools that are available to you to succeed, so you don't have to worry about that. It's helpful, but it's not something that is very important. And a lot of people that have been producing, especially in the essence of techno, they don't really care about the scales that much. It is important. Some producers and my tutors stress the importance, but some go by ear. So one of the biggest things is, of course, the music theory. That's what I thought. That's where I needed to start. Like I said, You gotta start swimming somewhere, and you have to make a decision. This is your starting point. Okay. Shout out to SM Inc. Big love. I'm overwhelmed, of course, and I'm gonna break it all down. When you open up the DAW, it's gonna look like a spaceship, and it did to me. Um, and like I've said, you just gotta keep swimming. You gotta start figuring out. You gotta YouTube some clips and slowly but surely figure things out. It's gonna be a very slow process. I apologize. That's the essence of music production, but you're in a good group. That's our friend is here to support you. I'm here to support you big time. I want you guys to succeed and produce music that you truly passionate about and ready to release to the market. So, um, this is what this stream is all about. So it's too complicated. I'm going to break it all down. I'm going to talk about the fundamentals. We're going to talk about the importance of those fundamentals so you don't have to be overthinking about anything else. My biggest thing that I've learned and the people that I have been working with, there's the information overload. So what happens is you watch your favorite artist and you start to piggyback off them without realizing what's important. So it could be just the general structure, or it could be just the essence of like, oh my God, I'm watching the Skrillex live stream and he's using these plugins. And then you buy these plugins without understanding what they're doing and how they can help your production. And then you get lost. You get lost, right? Because there's and this is what A. Smith has talked about. To be a professional, you have to be able, and this is a big picture. Again, we're not expecting to be there, and I'm not there either, is to make a track in 1 week. And it's first day, it's basically organization. Second day is creativity. Third day is creativity, meaning that you're putting everything together. You're not really overthinking. Fourth day is mixing. So you're taking everything and putting in the right place. And then you're sending it out to master, right? Let's say it's day 5, and you get your, you get your copy. You're sending out to somebody else to master, or you can master yourself, but that's a whole other element. And then by the end of the week, you make your revisions, and by Sunday, you'll have a track ready to go. So that is a very professional way of looking at it, but it's something that we can be inspired to look into down the road. Um, So that's something that I wanted to make sure that you guys understand as you encompass and get better in music production. Okay. I don't have the money. You don't need much. We're going to talk about some things that you can utilize now. Payment plans, in addition to, the DAWs that are available, they're free. Some of them are free, and I just want you guys to get started. I'm not motivated and inspired to produce. That's a big one. And the biggest thing that I've learned is that sitting down and just figuring things out as you go, watching tutorials, watching this is already helping you out. And we're going to talk about leaning into doing the mentoring sessions and leaning into doing the courses is going to help your creativity. And in addition to, of course, listening to more music and using tracks as references, I think those are going to be important. I suck, I cannot get better. Another one, right? I mean, it's for us to sound like Chris Lake or Dead Mouse, it's gonna take some time. And just like any aspect of life, I mean, if I come from a tennis background, like I am not Roger Federer, I'm not Rafa Nadal. These guys have been playing for many, many years at the highest level possible. What I understand is that I know what it takes. Now, am I able to do that constantly and dedicate my life to it? And that's something that a lot of people will say no. So the more time you put into this, the more you're going to understand, the more things you're going to see, and the more aspect of production that you're going to learn. It's never ending learning process. So, um, to get to a point where you're Chris Lake, it's going to take you decades, but to a point where you can release music successfully as an artist could take you, I think actually within a year. It's very possible at this moment. And we're going to talk about the resources that you guys can utilize as you're learning this, okay? I don't have the right gear. That's the big one, because you think that all of these guys, especially if you're watching and they're posting stuff on Instagram, and they're like, oh, I'm in the studio, I got this big synth, I got this analog gear, I got these headphones, I treated my room. Maybe back in the day that was true, but now it's everything that comes through a laptop. And John Summit made Deep End on a laptop with KRK Rocket speakers, which are not the best. And I don't think his room is treated. I'm guessing he utilizes professional mixing and mastering, but his overall work that he puts into the track is being done by him on the headphones and just through the use of a laptop. So don't focus about the gear so much. Focus on getting good at making sure that your fundamentals are on point based on the um, based on the what's the word genre that you're producing. The ultimate foundational aspect of dance music is pretty much the same, but there is a difference between making a tech house track and making a dubstep track. There's different elements. However, for example, the kick should be always the loudest part of the track. But I don't want to spend too much time on the technical side. I want to spend some just if you're just getting started, you have no idea what I'm talking about, just getting over the sphere and just jumping in. Okay? A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. That's what Lao Tzu said. So let's follow his advice. He's a great, great guy to follow, and you just got to get started. You just have to start crawling, and then you're gonna start walking, and then you're gonna start jogging, and eventually you're gonna start running and leaping. So you guys have to start somewhere. This is a good starting point, and here we are. So mindset development and real truths. Okay, I mean, this is how I viewed it. Back in 2017, I'm just finishing my undergrad as a nurse. I was doing, I was a Division I athlete. I mean, I was committed full time to nursing, full time to tennis. Always been passionate about the industry. And, funny story is I've taken a production course in college, and it was, just a basic course, hee hee ha ha, here's what it looks like. And I was just so driven by it. My grades slipped from like A minus to like a C plus within a week, or within 2 weeks, I should say. And my ex-girlfriend at the time was like, dude, you gotta quit. I mean, you're a nurse, you're an athlete, this is what you're committed to. You gotta execute on what's in front of you. And I knew that once I graduate, I can fully commit myself to the music production and just learning more about the scene in general. So once I was like graduating, I was learning stuff through like, same things that you might be learning about, or you were on the same stage where like, okay, which DAW should I get? I'm like, music theory, might need to learn to piano, all this BS that I had to go through, which I'm gonna completely, you know, get rid of that disillusionment right now. You don't need to learn all that stuff. You just need to get a DAW and start learning from your favorite producers. But the element of swimming is, I want you to imagine being dropped in the middle of the ocean. And I'm sorry if you guys have fears of swimming, okay? But you're dropped in the middle of the ocean, and you're gasping for air. You're gasping for air. Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You gotta start swimming. All right, you gotta start swimming. Doesn't matter the direction. You just have to start swimming. You gotta learn how to swim. You gotta tread water, and then the opportunities will come out from what you have learned in that aspect that you can take away and apply. Take away and apply. Brick by brick, we're layering bricks to make a good, solid framework of success in whatever endeavor. I mean, this doesn't need to be music production. It's anything in life. So you gotta just start swimming. And hopefully this is an attitude that you take away. It's you can have this as a jumping starting point for you, is where, oh hey, RN tells me that doesn't matter where I am at, just start learning. Just go start searching stuff. If there's an aspect that you're struggling with, Google it, YouTube it, figure it out, and you're gonna start seeing trends and seeing opportunities as you keep approaching it consistently with a good mindset of like, hey, I'm learning, I'm growing, and things will eventually will fall into place that you're looking for. Okay. Like I said, key is to keep swimming and pay attention to the opportunities from the experiences that you're going to have. Not everyone is going to have the same experience, but I think it's important to understand that um, you're not going to be perfect from day one. Okay, you're not going to be Chris Lake. You're not going to be Deadmau5. I'm sorry, but you're going to be able to learn in the aspect that will help you to get better. And then eventually, if you keep at it, you're going to be able to. I honestly, within a year, I think now it's very doable to start releasing music that is very, very quote unquote listenable, because as you're like, what is clipping? Why is the sound so bad in the car? All that stuff is gonna encounter you throughout the process. But I'm gonna, of course, mention all the things that I've learned that's gonna keep you away from that and accelerate. So, what are your goals with music production? Define them. The bigger, the better. Meaning that if you have a North Star that you're chasing that is very far ahead, like for me, I want to headline the biggest festivals in the world, and I know it's a far-fetched goal, and you might be thinking, who am I to say that? But it's my goals. But something that you can kind of always look at. And I always think macro with my goals. So macro meaning I have the leverage to always pinpoint that, hey, because my goals are so big, I need to make sure I make big, defiant, um, not details, but deep, defiant steps in order to get to those goals. So for example, your weekly goal right now could be explore different DAWs, rewatch this tutorial that RN is putting up, and hopefully, we're gonna have, for example, next month we're gonna have a second session where we can actually dive a little bit deeper, and it could be like, oh man, I saw this channel on YouTube and it's great, I can relate to this guy. Watch him like just 30 minutes a day. You don't even need to go necessarily and apply things as of now. You just need to start watching and get comfortable with looking at what they're looking at. I think that's the big part, because initially, like I've said in the beginning, it is more or less looks like you're operating some kind of airplane. Like you look at Ableton, you look at FL Studio, and you're like, what the hell are these knobs doing? And what are these guys doing? And you just need to get comfortable with their lingo and what they're talking about and their language, and slowly but surely you're going to start speaking it. It's just a matter of applying yourself and being consistent with it. So from there on, monthly goals, yearly goals, and decades. I know that some of you guys are watching this, be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? I mean, we were just listening to some good music and this guy is preaching some deep things. That's just how I am. Okay, I'm sorry. I always think big. I want you guys to think big. I want you guys to pursue your dreams. It might not be this, but maybe you're listening to this and be like, man, I should open a business right now, and then just do it and then figure it out as you go along. What are your monthly goals with production? Is it finishing a course? Is it finishing a class? Is it doing something that is related to that? Define those monthly goals. I think it's important to define them, because that way you can kind of like I've said, you set those steps to achieve those. You don't necessarily have to achieve them, but you have to apply yourself to achieving them. So I usually, my monthly goals would be, for example, finishing tracks. My yearly goals is to be featured on the labels. And I have a white wall behind me with the labels that I want to, be on. And, it's an empty box, and I'm going to check it eventually. I'm going to check it. I know that I will. And the decades, biggest stages, revolutionize the music industry for the better in my mind. And of course, it's bigger than just our ISMO brand. It's really all about empowering other people and creating this community of successful doers. That's what I'm kind of going for. And of course, PS, macro over micro. Define that North Star, whatever it is. Whatever it is, the bigger the better. You cannot, as they say, shoot for the stars, shoot for the stars, end up on the moon. It's crucial for you to have those big goals and aspirations. Doesn't matter what people say. Just keep chasing. You don't need to necessarily tell that to people. I'm comfortable telling my goals, but you got to start believing, because your subconscious is going to start feeding that message. It's like, okay, My name is Mike, and I want to become, I want to become a billionaire. Okay, I want to become a billionaire. And all of a sudden, it's like you keep saying this stuff, and it's all of a sudden you're like, okay, you gotta get more comfortable. You gotta get more comfortable, and you're gonna start creating this momentum that's gonna help you along your journey and the process. So, bigger the goals, the better. Okay, so and as LAX says, big dreams can be attained, especially with your work ethic. Keep working hard, and things will start to happen. That is it right there. Consistent, persistent work effort will get the job done. Okay, persistent, consistent work effort will get the job done. And as you learn, you're gonna seek mentorship. That is key. Okay, seek the mentors, the people that you want, I guess the people that you are aspire to be. So funny enough, like, I talked about reaching out to people, and we're going to talk about DMing people, DMing big artists. I reached out to Chris Lake for music production lessons, and he responded. He's like, I'm not doing it at this time, check out my Twitch, I might be doing something. But I reached out. I was like, okay, thanks, next, So it's really cool to see that these artists are checking their DMs, and all you need is 2 seconds of your time. Just you never know who's gonna say yes. Some people are just gonna ignore. Some people are just gonna like it. I don't know why people like my message. Just respond to it. But you're gonna learn. Some producers have never done production. All of a sudden, like, okay, we can try it, and then some people are just gonna pinpoint you in the right direction. And then books to consider, and for those of you who are really interested, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, 10X Rule by Grant Cardone, and Principles by Ray Dalio. If you have Audible, email me. I'm going to have an email in the end. So that way, if you guys want these books, I can send it to you. I don't have many credits, but I can send you for those of you who really want to start changing their mindset and becoming the best versions of themselves, becoming all that they can be. Okay, so just let me know, and then we can get that sorted out. And like I said, process improvement is better than comparison, is greater than comparison. I mean, 0.1 to 1% better each and every day. That's how you get done. Just keep climbing. Sometimes you've seen me on the social media, I'm like, keep climbing, keep doing. Doesn't matter what happened yesterday. Just keep doing what you need to do in order to become a better version of yourself. And slowly but surely, things will manifest in your favor. Okay, cheers to that, okay? Headliner vibes. I appreciate it, Coral. We're gonna become headliners. No doubt, no doubt. You know, we're gonna let the universe control our fate, but we're putting all the work efforts in order to make that happen. Okay, so like I said, let me know about those books. All right, next slide. What is digital audio workstation? Okay, those of you guys who have not known anything about producing, I'm going to talk about notable DAWs, what they are, what they do. Basically, it's all that you need. Okay, it's the software application for recording, editing, producing audio files, aka your music. So you don't need a studio, voice crack. You don't need a studio. All you need is that DAW, and you just download it on your laptop, and pretty much good to go. And notable DAWs right now, there's more probably. Okay, and you're going to be asking me which one should I get. Just do your research. It doesn't matter. But we got Ableton, we got Logic, we got GarageBand, which is free. We got FL Studio, Cubase, Reaper, Reason, Studio One. All are great. Okay. Now I use Ableton just because that's the first thing that I've been constantly seeing, and as you know, and I expose myself to Ableton, so I might as well do Ableton. There is no difference in relation to it's like driving a car. Okay, so one has a Toyota, one has a Ford. At the end of the day, from A to B, you need to get to your destination. Same exact thing. The prices increase based on the things that you want out of the DAW. So for me, macro goals, I invested in Ableton Live 9 Suite, which was $750 back in 2017. Okay, now I saved up as I go along to Ableton 10, and I got Ableton 10 Suite. I think it was cheaper because I just got the 9, they released the 10. Now, fun fact, Ableton 11 just came out. Now, I'm not preaching Ableton, like there's gonna be some bullshit you're gonna see, like, excuse my language, bullshit online. You can go on Reddit. They're gonna talk about how Logic sounds different than Ableton, and just this is all crap. It's not gonna get you anywhere. It's just waste of time. Okay, just get yourself into the production zone. Get a DAW that you are passionate about. Like Logic, a lot of people, for example, night-based people use Logic. Okay, people at Icon use Logic. Well, people in Icon use Ableton and Logic, but Logic is very respectable. GarageBand is more or less a framework, foundational base. It's good to start with. I don't think it's gonna last you a long time as you get better and better. But if you guys are tight in the budget, GarageBand is free. And everything else is pretty much, pick and choose. FL Studio, Martin Garrix uses FL Studio, okay? Afrojack uses FL Studio. It doesn't matter. The foundations that you're going to learn from these courses that we're doing, and That's Our Friend, is all going to be based on the things that you can apply in whatever DAW that you want. It's like driving a car. So, and look, Coral just, hitting you up with good information. If you're a student, you get 50% off. Just need to verify a pic of your student ID and to show that you're a current student, and you're going to be all set. So if you're a student in any endeavors, and by the way, some courses are allowing you to be a student, and you can capitalize on that. You just need to show them your ID or login, and they're going to give you that 50% off. We're going to talk about some some courses that I've taken that you can utilize as a student discount. Okay, Coral, shout out for that information. And then, yeah, which one do I choose? So this course will be utilizing Ableton Live. This is just something that I've been doing. I played around with FL a little bit. I played around with Logic, and it's just a preference. Just like when you drive a car. Like I've said, doesn't matter. Okay, does not matter. And it's not the tools, it's the carpenter. Okay, so you can get all the tools that you want. You can get all the gear that you want. All this fancy stuff. If you don't know how to use it, it's going to collect the dust. Okay, and it's expensive equipment as you buy more gear. So just commit to one and let the magic happen. Like, you just sit down, explore, and understand. Okay, not one is superior to another. So don't make this guy and sit there, and contemplate about, read all these Reddits and watch these YouTubes, Logic versus Ableton and Ableton versus FL, and it's a waste of time. Okay, it's a waste of time. As you get better at fundamentals, I can take tutorials from someone who is on FL and understand what they're doing, just because I'm comfortable knowing the foundational aspects of production. I might not be great at little things like, oh, he did this and then this sounded that, like I didn't know that. But everything that we're going to talk about, from putting your samples, creating your samples, processing, all of that is pretty much going to be the same from DAW to DAW. It's going to look different. Some aspects are going to be on the left side, some aspects are going to be on the right. It's pretty much the same. Okay, I think Ableton for me just spoke to me, spoke to my heart. I like it. There's cool things like session and arrangement view, which Ella X knows all about. She loves the session view, and it's just a preference. If you don't know, Ableton Live, definitely I highly recommend. Ableton 11 came out. Use your student discounts for those. It's $750 if you're really committed, but you can start with, I think, a $99 one. And I think there's also payment plans now, so you can, do a 4-time, 6-time payment plan. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this is important, and I think every DAW has this. I think it's a 90-day free trial. So if you're definitely interested, I highly recommend. Doesn't hurt. They're not going to take your credit card. And just jump in. Just start swimming, like we talked about, right? There it is. Just start swimming. Okay? Who's afraid of swimming? Who's afraid of swimming? Not us, because I will guide you through the swimming process, okay? So you don't need to be. I'm going to guide you through this process, okay? Don't worry about it. Okay? So anyway, don't be that guy. Next. So what do I need to get started? Laptop, headphones, and DAW is all you need, okay? You don't need to have crazy headphones. I think there's a Sony's that I use that under $100, but any headphones will do, just for the sake of getting started. The mixing part is gonna be, you can actually visualize your mixing, and utilizing like your car, utilizing your other speakers will do, but I think the headphones are fine. I know that Tom mentioned that my speakers are facing, if you saw my video for this course, facing towards each other, which is not supposed to happen, but they're there for mixing. I'm sorry, mixing, DJ mixing. Therefore, a lot of the stuff that I do is in the headphones, and I have 3 different pairs of headphones. And again, to get started, you just need one, and you should be good to go. Don't buy emotionally. Understand first. That's a big thing for a lot of you guys who are like, oh my God, Able Push. Oh my God, you know, a subwoofer and this and that, and laptop headphones. John Summit made depend on laptop and headphones. Okay, in Ableton, of course. So you don't need anything else. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. Laptop, headphones. West End does everything in the headphones. He has the speakers and stuff, but a lot of times all of the creative side, like 80% of it, happens in the headphones. I mean, honestly, if you don't even have the headphones, you can do it on your laptop speakers. That's what Chris Lake does, FYI. But you still kind of want to hear what's going on. So I would recommend headphones. The later portion of this course, as we go along, we're going to talk about the differences of mixing on your speakers and in your headphones and what you expect and all that good stuff. But don't worry about it right now. Laptop, headphones is all you need. In relation to your equipment, let's just say my biggest concern is the power of your laptop, okay? And I'm not going to tell you Mac is better. I use Mac. It's simple. It gets the job done. It does what I need it to do. Now, some people are into building their computers, and I'm using a laptop, by the way. Like, I don't have a keyboard. People. Oh, by the way, another thing, like buying keyboards, right? All this BS. You don't need that. You just need to start making music. Um, as you get better, of course, you can start buying stuff, but not now in the beginning, I would say. And that's how I was. I was thinking about buying equipment. But anyway, the computer is important in relation to the power, because if you're running Ableton, you do need some CPU. You do need some kind of RAM power. So I think in the beginning stages, like we talk about, if you're just getting started, you should be fine. Okay, you should be fine. But I do recommend MacBook Pros, and you can get a finance through an Apple Card, I believe. So you don't need to owe anything to anybody. You can just get that laptop and then start paying the credit card debt. I mean, again, it whatever it takes, right? But if you have a good enough laptop, like that's 2-3 years old, you should be fine. You should be fine, unless you're running 35,000 aspects, like at the same time, you should be fine making music. Okay. Next, any questions? I mean, I'm not seeing much questions. I guess I don't know if I'm that good. I don't think I'm that good. But hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from. Just get started. DAW, headphones, laptop. That's it. Time to learn. Okay. Let's talk about the learning concepts. Okay. YouTube masterclasses, one-on-ones. And we're going to talk about this production course that we're doing. Okay, YouTube's. That's the number one thing. And that drives me crazy. I love YouTube. I learn from YouTube. But if you don't know the foundational aspects of what it takes to make good music, you're in big trouble. Okay, and this is why I was like, dude, there is a need for just learning foundational aspects of dance music, because you can watch a Skrillex tutorial, you can watch for example Chris Lake tutorial, you can watch whoever Armin van Buren, there's Dead Mouse Masterclass, whatever, right? And you learn all this stuff, and it's so saturated. Why does Armin do this and Dead Mouse does that? Why does RN does this and this guy does that? Like, I'm gonna break it all down. Okay, I'm gonna break it all down. And from what I've learned from one-on-ones, people do things differently, but some things are always Like, oh, that's the same thing that I've learned from West End. Oh, that's the same thing I learned from the Repopulate Mars course. And you're like, okay, this is the stuff that I can actually talk about because it keeps repeating. Some people do some crazy shit. There's no rules in music, they say, but there's definitely foundational aspect to sound pretty good. Okay, so YouTube, just be careful. Like it's just be like I that's what I've learned. Like I've learned from many as this is me a year and a half ago. Like all this knowledge on YouTube before doing one-on-one mentoring. And I was like, holy shit, like I don't know how to apply this stuff. I just don't know because it's like this guy tells me use over the top compression on this, and I'm hearing a lot of people like, oh, I saw it in the YouTube video. And I'm like, dude, you don't even know what it's doing. And you're like, well, and they don't know why it's making the sound, why it's making the certain sound that they don't want. Okay, so it's stripping it all back, focusing in the fundamentals, focusing in the right selection of samples. We're going to talk about that later on. So tread lightly, pay attention to opportunities, meaning that one guy that you watch might spark another video. But always go back to treading lightly. That's why it's above. It's like you might see a YouTube channel that speaks to you. That's great. That's great. But understand why he's doing certain things and how you're going to apply it to your production. Okay. I make house music. I'm actually more into the minimal house. For those of you who are my hardcore fans, some of you guys are in there. I'm in the middle of rebranding. So a lot of the things that you're going to see is going to be related to the dark minimal tech house. Just throwing it out there if you're interested. But that's to be announced in a later date. But anyway, let's keep going. Masterclasses, courses, and schools. I'm going to talk about Noiselab and EDM Prod. These are my great foundational ones. Masterclasses can be specific. They can offer you direct help, also including courses and schools, but could be very pricey. For example, I got into the Icon Collective in LA. That's over 25 grand, and I was about to go. Like I was committed to going to LA before COVID happened. Okay. However, here I am. Here I am. And we're going to talk about the one-on-one mentoring just after this. But the thing about masterclass, it could also be not relevant to your goals. So for example, if you know your sound, for example, I mean I'm going to use U-Choral, and I could be wrong, but I think you're going towards the bass sound from what I'm hearing. Focus on the foundational aspects of making bass house. Okay, don't be jumping around to trance now or San Holo, melodic trap, if you know that's what you want. Okay, so like I know I love house, and I'm gonna be sticking to house until I master the fundamentals. I know my fundamentals. I'm a master in it. So it's important. Like, okay, night bass, right? What is night bass doing? And a lot of it is sound design. Everything else is pretty simple. And then I'll be going into, like, I'll be thinking about, okay, who is my favorite night bass producers? What are they doing? Can I reach out to Taiki Newlight on IG? Yes, I can. Will he respond? I don't know, but it was worth a try, right? Worth a try. Biggest tip I can tell you guys, start hitting your favorite producers on DM. You will never know who's going to respond. If you're a fan of Charlotte DeWitt, she might respond. You never know. Or she will guide you, and all of a sudden you will see Anna and Weba doing a production tutorial, and like, yes, I want to make techno music. Well, I want to make techno. I shouldn't say techno music. I want to make techno. And all of a sudden, you leap into that opportunity. Remember, you got to keep swimming, right? Me sending a DM to Chris Lake is going to open another opportunity, right? And that opportunity is going to help me. So I'm not like, holding my dear, breath that Chris Lake is going to respond to my DM. And I'm like, oh my God, please do productions with me or I'm going to die. No, it's paying attention to, here's what I think I should do. Let me do it. And then it's like, take that information and apply it to the next one. This is how I've gotten West End, Dylan Nathaniel, Coates, Ernesto. These are the guys that have been doing it. A. Smith. And I always pay attention. Like, what am I learning from each one of them? And how are they helping me along my journey? Okay. Feeding into one-on-one. Best way to grow. Best way to grow by far. And I think it's something that you guys need to consider. It is based on your needs. It is tailored to you. And I highly can recommend doing one-on-ones. And like I've said in the beginning, if you know your favorite artists, DM them and ask them if they're doing any production tutorials. If not, they might guide you to something else. Okay. So for example, West End's doing production tutorials if you guys are into tech house. Dylan Nathaniel, a little bit more selective now, but he's doing production tutorials. There's a Repopulate Mars course. If this is, I'm telling you, if you're a tech house junkie trying to make house music. There's Nightbase, groups, you have people that you can reach out to. You don't need to necessarily take courses from AC Slater. You don't. You can have people that are signed to Nightbase that will help you create that sound. And especially in the Detroit area, there's a lot of people that are doing that sound as well. Ask them for your help. All you need to do is reach out. And this course, what I'm going to be doing is being foundational, being directed to your growth. If you reach out to me in my email and you said, I'm committed, I'm going to be on your ass, okay? I'm going to be learning with you. I'm going to be learning through your process. I'm not going to be charging you anything, but I want to make sure that you're growing with your skill set. It's focusing on developing, but not mastering. So like what I would always recommend is like, I'm your 4th grade teacher. Okay, but reach out to the professionals that are currently signed to those big labels. I'm going to be signed to those big labels down the road. I'm just not there yet. So I'm not there to master your skill, but I'm there to get you going, okay? Anyway, that is it. Oh, by the way, other info, which is important, and I'm going to open up to questions. I don't have that much time, is join groups. Country Club Disco community, okay? Write it all down. Wavepoint community. And these are the former Golf Clap guys. Country Club Disco is run by Hugh. Wavepoint is run by Brian. Lots of producers out there that are there to help you. And they're there that could have a smaller label that you can be featured on. You never know, right? So you just kind of pinpoint and see what opportunities come up as you develop your sound, as you develop your overall skill set in production. The Fire Society, I'm reaching out, and Coral, you're gonna love this. The Fire Society is tailored towards bass music. So Taiki New Light has great info there. I actually decided not to continue with them just because it wasn't suiting where I was going. And do not be afraid to leave your mentors because they're not serving your needs that you're asking them for. Okay, because at the end of the day, you're paying them if you're doing the one-on-ones. It's not free. But definitely don't be afraid to leave. It's business. They're there. They're making money by helping you guys. But just pay attention. For example, Brian, if you're into Golf Clap, Wavepoint, he's doing courses, right? He's doing one-on-ones, so he's gonna help you. Okay, so just pay attention. The biggest thing, like I said, reach out to your favorite producers, DM them on Instagram. Reach out, look at the labels that you're passionate about, okay? For example, Coral, I'm using Coral because she's in the chat. I appreciate you, Coral. Nightbase, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be something else. Just Nightbase is a general big label. Look at the people that are doing the same type of, or it doesn't need to be big artists, but, artists that are not necessarily making a living exclusively off music, and just reach out to them. Hey, are you doing music production? Love your sound. And see what happens. I know that, for example, Nightbase has a Discord, and they're doing feedback sessions. So this stuff like that, it's like, you apply that information, and then you basically, go from there. And then do your research. Reach out, like I've said. Okay, and these are the ones these top 3 are communities that I would highly suggest. Trust your gut. It's a long journey. It's a very, very long journey. And this is my email. Reach out. If you guys want those books, let me know. I'm here for you. But before you go, I wanted to just show you the things that I was talking about earlier. These are the 2 that I highly recommend. You have no clue. Like, screw these groups, screw these one-on-ones. Where do I get started? Noiselab.io. Incredible stuff on just looking at Ableton. Okay? And then you have EDM Prod, which I think is like $350. But why I like EDM Prod, and it's edmprod.com, I believe. It's basically telling you Ableton basics, a little bit on music theory, and then they go into your 4 different ideas: house music, future bass, trance, and your own assignment. Why I like the EDM foundation course is that you will see which music that you like to make more, and then of course other opportunities come up. Okay, so that's just something that you guys should pay attention to. I wish I can show you these videos, but just write them down: noiselab.io. And then this one, the electronic music production level 1, is completely free. I highly suggest, if you're going in the route of doing Ableton exclusively, okay, and then if you have a little bit of money to spare, I think this is like $350, but I highly recommend, because you can see, if you have no clue what you're making: house idea, future bass idea, dubstep idea, trance idea, and then your own idea. And I don't think this guy is a master in production, but he will definitely get you started and start thinking about certain aspects. But like I said, guys, the biggest thing I can tell you right now is you got to keep swimming. You got to keep swimming, and that's the beauty of music production. Anyway, let me play you a quick little track, because I have time. This is a pre-master of the new song called "I'm So Afraid." Sending this to labels. I'll play a little bit, and then I'll pass my torch to the next person in line. I think it's Reem doing something, but anyway, let me know what you think. Keep swimming. Let me know what you think, guys. Any questions before I go? I'll just play a little bit.
I don't know what to do. I just don't have a clue. Everything is so confusing. Everything with you just don't make no sense. But it feels so right. But I'm so afraid. I don't know what to do, what to do, what to do. I don't know what to do. I just don't have a clue. Everything
Not yet,
so
guys. Not yet. Not released yet, but maybe down the road for sure.
just don't make no sense. But it feels so right. But I'm so afraid. I don't know what to do.
Alright, guys. Alright. My time has come. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. May the journey continue. May the process blossom. And I want to thank Alexa for having me on. And it's been a blast. I'm going to sign off. I want to see, hold on, I want to show you my beautiful face again because I love you guys. And mwah. Make sure you reach out to me if you guys have any questions about the production, and I'm here for you. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.